Hello, 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 everybody. Welcome to the Saturday morning, afternoon, whatever time you're in, live stream. Hello, all the usuals are here. Philly, producer Reef, who won last week. Doug, Aaron, Joe. What's up, everybody? It's good to see everybody. Hopefully last week you guys watched. It was an exciting stream. Hopefully you had fun. Today we're giving away one of the new nitrate checkers from Hanna. I got my hands on one, and I'm going to be giving it away today. So I'm curious to see what people think of them. I haven't really looked at any reviews on them. I don't know how they're going to manage to test higher nitrate systems. I'm assuming you dilute the water, but I guess we'll find out. So let's see, we got about, only about 16 people in. Hopefully we can get some more people in. We need 25 people to enter the contest. Mark, I think you should definitely watch it. It was an exciting stream for sure. So today we're going to go over my GHL versus Apex series videos. I don't have a guest today. I don't know. I think next week I got a really great guest lined up. So no guest today, just kind of a Q&A on my experience with the GHL and with the Apex is what we're going to go over today. So let's see. Hal, what's going on? Like I said, we need 25 people in to give away. We have roughly 13, so we'll need a lot more to give away the nitrate checker. So I don't know if you guys have been able to watch these episodes, but I finished them up and posted them this week. I got a lot of interesting comments from both sides. Had a nice fight with some guy last night, which was fun. I also posted it on the Reef to Reef and had a bunch of people on there giving me grief, so it's fun stuff. I love to get in great conversations with people, but when people start to put me down and say some things, I have to stick up for myself and go after them. So it was a lot of fun. So I think I had it about 3 months. Producer Reef is getting the Apex from last week, which is what I used. And it was very interesting to see some of the differences between the two. Primarily, the programming is significantly different on both of them. And all I can say is hopefully you guys watched the videos and learned something, but also hopefully you made a good decision on if you ever want to get a controller. If you don't have a controller, kind of what you're going to probably run into with both of them. And that was really the whole point of it, is for people that are looking at it. I think the biggest concern I had with those videos is the whole point of the videos were to explain to people that don't have a controller what the biggest differences are between them and who's going to, what you're going to purchase if you purchase one. Unfortunately, a lot of people got that mixed up with people that already have it and are complaining because I have this one and I have this one, and it's like, listen, the whole point of the videos were kind of a buying guide for people, but that didn't seem to work out so well. Thank you, Reef Keeper. I don't care about the haters. I have fun with them. They're much fun. Look who it is. Desert Reef Aquatics from last week. Yeah, I would say for a beginner, Apex is definitely the way to go. It's just so convoluted how their programming is, and it's very difficult for someone that isn't a programmer, someone that maybe hasn't programmed anything before. someone that's not very good with computers, the Apex is going to be a lot more user friendly. The GHL is just so difficult. It really is. Yes, he is the Batfish Killer. So anytime Desert Reef Aquatics says anything, just call him Batfish Killer, because he is a Batfish Killer. Yeah, so John, I think I mentioned that in some of my videos. They got a really good doser, and the doser is not significantly difficult to program on its own. And that's, that's the big difference, is, they have really good products, but when it comes to their controller, it's just so difficult to program. It really is. Let's see. Reef automation is not good with computers. Well, you're not good with keeping things alive in your reef tank, so there you go. Now, why don't you tell them your horseshoe crab story again? Yeah, Mark, a lot of people were complaining about how, it's unreliable, and they don't think that if you put an Apex on your system that that everything's going to die and you're going to have all kinds of problems. I just think that's completely a bunch of BS. I really said. Let's see. We got about 20 people entering the contest. We need about 5 more to give away the nitrate checker today. What's going on, Ron? Brockton? How's it going, man? A lot of the usuals in, which I love. I love my usual subscribers. I really appreciate you guys coming in. So anybody have any questions about the GHL after seeing those episodes? Hopefully you guys watched them all. Do you guys have any questions? Because I definitely went through both of them and really got really got to test them out fully and see what the biggest differences are between them. Let's see. Yeah, Brian, a lot of people had a big concern with reliability on the Apex. From my own personal experience, I've had 4 or 5 different Apexes, and I've had a couple issues with outlets here and there. I did have an outlet seize up on me. Some of the outlets I have issues with, but the controller itself, I've never had any issues with it. And in terms of reliability, I've never had a GHL, so it's hard for me to say to these people, hey, yeah, GHLs last for years. Just based on anecdotal evidence from other people, they do last, but have those people who have had them ever had an Apex to compare? That's, some people buy a product and they have one problem and think it's junk and then never buy it again, and that's unfortunate because, electronics, you're never going to get, 10 out of 10 success with electronics. Sometimes you'll have a problem with it. Does one process information input? Yes, so Anthony, I think in the last video, I actually did a real-time showing of the charting, and it takes probably, no joke, 30 to 40 seconds for it to populate. And when you hit an outlet, or when you hit an on or off for an outlet, it takes about 5 to 10 seconds, which is, people are like, oh, it's just 5 to 10 seconds. Well, if you're trying to turn off a pump all of a sudden really quickly because something's happening, and you got to wait 5 to 10 seconds, that can be catastrophe. 5-10 seconds on a 2,000 gallon per hour pump could be catastrophe. The fact that Apex turns it off on a dime is quite a difference. Yeah, so Philly brought up a good point. If you can't afford an Apex, that's understandable. But then again, you can't afford a GHL because they're just as expensive. But once you have one, you realize how much you can't live without it. That's the thing. What is temp compensation for the pH probe? So temp compensation for the pH probe, for those that don't know, pH can fluctuate based on temperature. However, generally speaking, your tank has to get to roughly 73 degrees for the pH to really be much of a change. And 85, I think, is the next. I don't think it's that big of a deal. Now, if you use salinity, salinity does change quite a bit depending on temperature. So I recommend, if you're going to do anything with compensation, that you do it with salinity, and pH is not that important. Let's see. Yeah, the programming, John, it's just atrocious. I wish I could give it any type of praise, but the programming is so difficult. What was your favorite thing about the GHL that you liked the most? This was a couple things I actually really did like about the GHL. First of all, the display on the GHL I think is a lot more intuitive. It provides more information. It provides you, like if you have a reminder, it'll pop up on there. It shows you what the alarm is, which is really neat. Those things aren't on the Apex display, such as, showing you what the actual alarm is, showing you, what could be happening. I have to say something. Desert Reef says he has a drag tank, everybody. So, everyone now know that Desert Reef has a tank with a bunch of drag queens in it. So, just want to throw that out there. So, let's see. The GHL alarm aspect I think is really good, but Aaron just mentioned the same thing. The display is in the cabinet, so how useful is that? Also, what I like is their display, their PAB, all of their products have a little LED that shows you what's going on with a color, which is really neat. So if it's red, something's wrong. If it's blue, everything's fine. If it's green, there's no connection. There's really cool stuff on the display aspect of the GHL that I really like. I just got on and we're talking. Colt, you'll have to go back and see what we're talking about. But I have to say that the display aspect is great. The buttons suck. The buttons suck so bad on the GHL, by the way. They are so bad. I don't care. Anybody out there that has a GHL has one of those display and tell me that their buttons are good. I would love to see a video because the buttons are just awful. I have a second date scheduled with Mother Desert Reef. Lee, last week, if you were there, I don't remember, his mother was actually on the stream. So I'm assuming that's where you guys met. Let's see some other things. I do like the black probes. I know it's kind of something that's really silly, but the black probes I think are really nice, and they actually say what they are, so pH is actually on the probe itself. So I think that's really kind of cool. But again, you can buy those probes and probably put them on Apex. So I thought that was a nice little touch. I do like that you can connect it through Ethernet and not Aquabus, so you could run, Cat 5 throughout your house, which I think was really quite nice. In terms of their components, Nick just mentioned, it's hard to say. I had both of them sitting next to me, and I can tell you, and just based on just feeling, the Apex was heavier, felt like it was better built. The GHL was very light and flimsy, so it's hard to really engage whether or not the GHL components are higher quality. People say, oh, they're German, they're higher quality, but when you actually have them in front of you, I gotta say the power bar and a few other things were very flimsy, and I bet you if I dropped, let's say, the GHL power bar on the ground, I have a feeling the whole thing would break. Whereas if I dropped the EB832, there's a good chance one or two of the outlets might break, but I think otherwise it would be pretty good. Let's see, Ron. When you restore backup when you restore a backup from Apex, do you lose anything? You do lose your graphs and your charting and your logs because those are in the cloud. So generally, there's a button to restore data when you go to the cloud, so you got to make sure you hit that. Let's see, restoring. Sometimes when you restore them, the outlets' names don't get the same names, so be aware of that. But generally, it will restore all of the programming. Yeah, Nick, it is crazy. The GHL looks like a tank. It's very big. but it probably weighs, I'm not joking, maybe 2 pounds. It's light. It's extremely light. I mean, I can go grab it and I can kind of throw it around and show you how light it is. Has anyone ever tested which probes are more accurate and higher quality? Yes, Justin, I did. I can tell you that both of them are very accurate and don't sway on both of the systems. In terms of calibration, take a look at my calibration video. I can tell you it took me 45 minutes to calibrate the GHL probes and roughly 20 minutes to do the apex. I did find that the apex needed to be calibrated a few more times after. Yes, Gary, you could do Trident controlled dosing also, which is what I would recommend. That's how I do it. Let's see. Time to start repaying back. Thank you so much, man. Appreciate it. Desert Reef Aquatics. He owes me so much money. I've lost count. The apex flow. I don't know what that means, Emmanuel. I'm sorry. Let me go grab the pab. Give me about a minute or two. I'll go grab the pab. Okay, so here's the pab. I mean, it's very light. It's probably, I would have to say it's probably about maybe a pound or two. I mean, it's extremely light. I mean, I can just throw it up and down. I guess another $5 just to have to deal with Desert Reef. Yeah, dealing with him is a full-time job for sure. Let's see. Someone had a question about flow. Let's see. I had an apex flow. I don't know what that means. I'm sorry. That's it, Aaron. It's warm. Oh my God. Yeah, like I said, people say that they're well built and they're so much better in terms of quality. Like I said, I have it sitting here and I feel this thing is, you know, if you dropped it, the whole thing would break. You know, but that's me. You know, I'm just giving my opinion. So, yeah, maybe he's talking about the flow meter. Yeah, the flow meters by GHL are significantly better. I haven't actually physically had one in my possession, but I did some research on them, and they are significantly better built. My flow sensors on my reef tank, I think I have 4 flow sensors total from Apex, and every single one of them I've had to open up and clean probably once every 3 months because they just stop working. So I would have to definitely say that the flow sensors from the Apex are okay. They're not great. You know, they have a little roller inside, and it sometimes gets seized up. What kind of control does DHL during have internet outage? I don't understand the question. I'm sorry, because the GHL, just like the Apex, have a built-in server so you can connect to them if you're in the home, whether or not you have internet. So If you don't have internet and you try to connect to the GHL, you would just connect it through the local, which you can do, and the Apex as well. So they both have that ability if you didn't have internet to be able to connect to them. Who's giving me a thumbs down? Let's see. Oh, is it because we have some GHL fanboy in here that's upset with actual evidence? No, they don't restrict flow, Ron. They're very thin plastic that just spins inside, and that spinning motion actually just stops, and that's what causes the flow sensor to no longer read. But in terms of restricting flow, no, they don't do that. Yeah, they don't have a 3/4. I recommend if you're going to do a 3/4 that you do like a 1 inch, and it really won't do that much of a flow restriction, because you're going from 1 inch to 1 inch on both sides with just a small amount of restriction, just for about, it's like maybe 3 inches right here. So I don't think, Philly, you'd have an issue. I have a 1 inch on my 3/4 inch, and it doesn't stupid camera. It doesn't do anything. Yeah, so Doug had a good point. There is a lot of maintenance on them, unfortunately. I don't know what it is, but I think that I've opened them up. I actually did a video, I think, on opening them up and cleaning them. But if you open up the end, there's a metal piece where it spins on that gets dirty with, just general saltwater grime, and it starts to restrict the electrical connection to the spinner, and then you don't get anything from it. Yeah, I don't think you'd put a thumbs down, because if you did, I would just completely cancel you from the stream. What's the good uses for the 1/4 inch is what you're asking? I haven't used the 1/4 inch, but the 1/4 inch would be good for RO type stuff. If you want to get information from your ATO to see if it's clogged up, that might be a good solution. I think they work better with fresh water than they would with salt water. I would highly recommend not using them on calcium reactors. But if you were to take the flow from there's a way you could do it with the calcium reactor, but I wouldn't recommend it. I've seen people do them. As long as you maintain them, you should be fine. Yeah, Philly, I have it on my UV, and it works really well. I actually have a 1 1/4 going down to a 1 on one of my tanks, and it works just fine. Yeah, thank you very much, Mark. I do have super chats. I appreciate it. Yeah, Manuel, that's kind of what I was explaining earlier. I think downsizing would be better than upsizing. But again, they have a 1 inch and they have a 2 inch. So if you really wanted to get a 2 inch, it's big, going from a 1 to or 3/4 to a 2 would probably not be the right thing to do, and it probably wouldn't be the right thing to do to go to a 1/2 inch. No, I have not used the Hanna nitrate checker. I just ordered one for myself, so we'll see how it is. Yeah, you could put on your ATK just to see, but again, you're trying to get flow from something that's on 24/7 generally. But to know if your ATK is not working, you could have it just alert you when the ATK pump is on, So, yeah, okay. Yeah, but what they don't realize is what that 450 actually goes towards. Let's see, we got 27 entered in the contest, so that's awesome, guys. Awesome. Yeah, Lee, I would assume there's going to be a lot of steps. Testing nitrate is usually tough, but we'll see. Whoever wins today is going to be able to try it out too. So I'm curious to see how it works out. Let's see. Yeah, exactly, Aaron. Anyway, so we finished off the videos. I did some. If you guys haven't seen them yet, I highly recommend watching them. I did. I thought it would be easier just to do star ratings out of 5 on each particular device. I found that to be the easiest way to do it. Oh yeah, I had tons of network issues with the GHL. I explained, I think, in my episode 14, maybe, I don't remember what it was, but for some reason the GHL just kept disconnecting for no reason. It is Wi-Fi. I don't like that feature of the GHL. I don't know why they can't just put it. They don't even have an expansion card with an Ethernet plug. Like I don't get that. For such a great piece of equipment and all these people that go so far to tell me how GHL is so great, how can it not have an Ethernet connection? No problem, Brian. It's surprisingly a lot of work. People don't realize it. Along with running a business and running the Facebook group and taking care of my 3 fish tanks, taking care of my dogs, taking care of all of my it's a busy life for sure. But it keeps me grounded and it keeps me not from going insane during this pandemic for sure. I have to make up for last week. Yeah, if people don't know, Desert Reef Aquatics is named Aaron, and then we got Aaron's Aquatics, so they're both Aarons. And we missed Aaron last week, but we had the other Aaron. And it was a lot of fun for those that missed it. If you didn't see it, I would highly recommend watching last week's stream because it was probably my favorite stream of all time. Oh goodness. Anyway, yeah, Aaron just mentioned, and also what people don't realize, but some of them do. I do have a lot of these haters that message me on Facebook and just go at me for being biased for Neptune. Now, yeah, I have a Neptune shirt, and I've had Neptune for a long time. I did all the tutorials on Neptune. I'm going to be doing tutorials on GHL. I'm trying to be as fair as I can. But I can tell you that I wasn't supplied any of this stuff. I mean, I buy it all with my own money. So it's not like I'm getting sponsored to give my opinion on any of this stuff. What's a good kit for nitrate, Kirk? I highly recommend the NIOS test kit. For those that haven't used it, I got to tell you, that yellow color is so much easier to read on the NIOS than anything else I've ever had. Will you stay with both systems? Well, Manuel, I have a gigantic Apex if you've never seen it, so I'm going to keep my Apex, of course. The GHL I have sitting in the garage right now, it's not currently hooked up to water any longer. I'm going to do tutorials on programming, God willing, because it's really difficult, and produce those. I think it's the right thing to do, and I think it'll help people as well that have GHL that might be struggling. I can tell you that it's going to struggle for me, but I'll probably learn a lot during that process too. Let's see. Where was that question? Do you agree that there's more cons with the GHL? That's a really tough question, Spin. I would say that there are things that they can work on that would make their product much better. I think that they're very equal in what they accomplish for the end user. So I don't know if there was more cons with the GHL. There's actually just more things that are difficult with the GHL. I don't know if that helps. I just installed an Apex EL. Do you have videos on how to reassign plug-out ports? You'll have to explain that, Can Voodoo. I don't know what you mean by plug-out ports. Can you explain what that means? Did you deal with GHL? Yes, I did. So I did kind of. I didn't really trick them. That's not the right word. I sent them both fake support tickets because I thought it would be nice. It would be a good thing to see what their response is for problems. So I sent GHL one and I sent Apex one, or Neptune. Neptune got back to me within 10 hours. GHL took about 3.5 days to get back to me. When I got back support from GHL, and I can show you guys the email, it was a one-word sentence and it was extremely vague. So it sounded like they just didn't want to help, and I think the guy was from Germany because he had some really crazy name. So I would have to assume, Anthony, that their contact is not great, but as you guys know, I do have direct line of contact with Vinny from GHL. So for me, customer service for an average user, I found to be heads and just so much better with Neptune than the GHL. Again, for someone like me that has direct contact with GHL and direct contact with Apex, obviously they're both equal because they provide the same level of service to me. But for an average everyday user that might not know these guys or be able to get to these guys, then yes, I think their customer service was not as good. Yeah, Vinny is a great guy. I'm not gonna put him down in any regard. He didn't get back to me, but I didn't want to go to him or Terrence and explain to them what I'm doing, because that would have not benefit. It wouldn't have been a benefit to my viewers and the series, because if I went to Terrence and said, "Hey, you guys are doing this, and I need you to improve on it," and then I went to Vinny, "You guys are doing this, and need to improve on it," it's not helping the end user in what their current customer service is like. So yes, I can tell you with a straight face, Vinny from GHL, fantastic, great, easy to get to if I need to for any help. But how about, I'm sure all of you out there don't know how to get a hold of Vinny. So what if you went out and bought a GHL and you had a problem and you don't know who Vinny is? You don't know who Terrence is. What is your line of contact to get help? And that's how I looked at it. Let's see. I meant the electrical. Let's see. Like number 1 has a default for blues and 2 set for. I'm still confused. I don't know what you mean as default for blues. I don't. I'm sorry. I don't understand. Yeah, Mark. I wanted to. The whole series, if you guys haven't watched it, was to look at it from someone that has never had an Apex before, has never had a GHL before. Even though you all know that I am a whiz with Apex and I know everything about it, I wanted to look at it from a new user that has never seen it before. And that's how I went about it. But of course, and I think I mentioned this, and I'm just going to hit the nail a little bit more on the head. Of course, if I go to Vinny directly, he's going to help me and I'm going to get things situated, and that's fantastic. But what if Joe Schmo out there doesn't know who Vinny is? How long is he going to wait for support? Well, it's going to be 3 days, and then he's going to get a message that's very weird and not understanding. So, I know you're not a fan, but their new controller looks very appealing. I'll do this. I'll look into it. Depending on the price, I might buy one and look at it. You know, everything that I've ever purchased from CoralView, I've had an issue with. So I'm no longer buying their stuff. That's just my own personal opinion. I know there's a lot of people out there that have a lot of their products and they work great. Unfortunately, every single product I've ever purchased from them, I've had an issue with. That's just how it is, you know. There's a lot of products out there that I've had issues with. There's a lot of products I've had zero issues with. I've had, let's see, I probably had 7 or 8 MP pumps from Vortec from before they were even wireless, when they used to be white, that weren't even quiet drives. Never had a single issue with any one of their products. So, what can I say? Yeah, I totally agree with you, Reef Keeper. It's a little long. Again, not bad customer service. I think if you look at the video, I'm pretty sure I rated them the same in customer service. I don't know, man. I would just toss them. Oh, you've had issues with my product. You mean all of the free crap that I've given you, you've had issues with? Man. Oh, if I could only just get stuff handed to me and hope that it works. Man. So $300, not too bad. Maybe I'll take a look at one of them. I'm wondering who actually developed it. You know, is it CoralView that actually developed it, or is it a sister company that developed it? You know. Yeah, the clear is okay, Lucas, but I have to say something. I know they fixed it, but in the beginning, remember those clear floor roller mats had tons of issues in the beginning. So, again, they fixed it, but there you go. There's always an issue with one of their products. Producer, I don't know, man. I would have to say, how important is the controller and what is the redundancy? Because the controller itself is the redundancy. I don't know. That's a good question. I don't know. From different brands, I don't know. Maybe I'll get the Hydros and see, or the whatever the hell it's called. Yes, they would, Colt. Absolutely. Use the best parts of each. I like that. It was your sister's company? What? What are you talking about? This is why people just ignore you, Batfish Killer. They just ignore you, don't care what you have to say, and that's the end of it. Yeah, so I'll take a look at the CoralView. Someone had asked me to try out a bunch of stuff, and you know, I just spent $1,500 on those GHL and Apex units, and I don't know if I can throw more money at this. I want to do the GHL tutorials. I know for some of you it's not going to be that big of a deal, but for a lot of people that are watching my channel, it's going to be a big deal. So that's kind of where we're going with newer videos. We're going to be going towards the GHL now. If I get a chance, I'll take a look at the I'll take a look at it. I am going to do a video on the Hanna checker when I get it. So I'll do a video on that. I don't know if it'll be a big deal, but I will. Oh, don't bring up bug snacks, please. I could tell you, someone at Howard had mentioned the manual filter roller. I am definitely not a fan of manual filter rollers. If you're going to save yourself, I don't know, $100, let's say, to get something where you got to make a crank to move it, I don't know about you guys, but how often do you actually go to the bottom of your tank and check and want to check on a filter roller, let's say every 3 days? I don't want to. I just want it to be automatic. That's why everything we do is automation. So I am not a fan of anything manual whatsoever on my reef tank. If it's going to be $100 more for a motorized unit that does it, I don't think manual filter rollers are worth it to save a few bucks. That's fine. Since you donate, I met what? Does that mean you're going to get me one and send me one to try it? Thank you very much, C. Mathis. I really tried. I mean, it was a lot of work. Yes, please do a video. Hannah's video made me waste to test. Okay, I'll take a look when I get it. Oh God. Now you got Mark. Why did you get him started on bug snacks? Oh God. Yeah, Justin. See, I barely check my filter socks. That's my point. Is there are people that are very due diligent and they go and check their tank all the time. I would have to believe there's probably 75% that don't. So imagine if you have to pull this crank. Yeah, it's easy, but again, you have to go and check. And I don't know how many people would do that. Yeah, I heard the wave engine's really nice. Forgot who I was talking to. Yeah. I don't know, Howard. It depends on the reefer. You know, some people, I understand, want to save some money and they'll put in a manual unit so they can save some money. But are those same people lazy reefers? I don't know. Are those people going to go to the bottom of their tank and check on things enough for it to be worth the savings of $100? I don't know. For me, I just don't. I don't think it's worth it. That's just my opinion. So, well, we got 27 people entered today, so we're definitely going to be giving it away to someone today. So, I have Ron. I have the Theoline Compact on my Reef, which I think is awesome. I think it's the greatest. And then I have two Clarisea SK5000s on my 300. And I like them. They're a little more maintenance than I'd like, and they're difficult to change the rollers out. But overall, I love my filter rollers without a doubt. Yeah. So John, you just mentioned something, and I'm curious, and I'd like you to be honest with me. The gyres are made by MaxSpec, which is CoralView. How much maintenance do you have on those gyres, and how many issues have you had with the gyres over the MP40s? I just want to make a point why I don't like CoralView. I just need him to update his... Yeah, that's not happening. Let's see. I'll give you some bug snacks. I don't want any bug snacks. You guys and your stupid bug snacks. Oh, God. My brother alone deal with him and his stupid bug snacks. And now he's got you involved. And now Mark somehow got involved with the bug snacks. I just don't get it. Emmanuel, thank you so much for the super chat, man. Let's put it out here. I was going to GHL for a new reef after due to the people telling me it's better, but you have to help with transparency for people that have been paid. Yes, I definitely try to be transparent. Definitely. So he did have to replace something. There you go. I don't know. I'm not saying that they're a bad company and they have a lot of bad products, because they do have a lot of great products. I just have always had an issue, one issue here and there with every one of their products. Oh, the gyro magnet's extremely strong, Racer. You can actually get a stronger magnet for it. Um, there you go, John. If you're swapping them, it makes things a lot easier. I don't like the cord in the tank. I've said this before. I think a lot of people don't like the cord in the tank, but you know, yeah, they are super strong. Super strong. So we need to get back to the drag queens that are in Desert Reef's tank. So Desert Reef, you need to send some pictures of your drag queens that are inside your tank. When I go to task and select light to the next step, I get a message. Let's see, light, go to the next step. Well, it depends on what kind of light are you doing. What's your light? That's probably the best way to help me. Dead bat fish and drag queens. Yep. Yeah, John, I've had issues with my MP40s too. I'm not going to say they're perfect, but as a whole, the MP40s I've had, I think one of the issues I had one time was it just fell and had some issues with keeping the magnet going, but overall I've been really happy with them. Yeah, Camor, another company that I've had issues with, which is Coral View. I can tell you with absolute certainty the ICP analysis that they sell is absolute crap. And I probably have people on here that have used them and also agree with me. Picture sent? Where did you send a picture? Did you text me a stupid picture? Oh my god, you texted me a stupid picture. Let's see what you sent me. Oh god. What is this? This is where's your drag queens? Alright. Yeah, Lucas, again, I've never had issues. I'm wondering if, I'm curious if people have issues with their vortex because they just don't clean them enough. I don't know, you know. I have a Gieselman Stellar plugged into it. Are you plugging it in through 0 to 10 volt? You're just plugging it into an outlet? Can you explain kind of how you're doing it? What trouble did you have with ICP? I used all the ICP and didn't say. What trouble did I have? They were completely off. Calcium was like 570 on one of them, and it was completely wrong. It also said that I had a ton of like some crazy element that I don't have in my tank, and I sent it to Triton, and I sent it to the other one, ATI, which is what I only use now, and it didn't have any of that. I sent them my RO, and holy cow. Can Voodoo, the outlets on the energy bars only are on and off. You can't change the colors on them. Yeah, so I'm Reef Keeper. I am not a fan of ICP analysis. They're completely off. Since the chat has shifted to class thickness. I love my innovative marine tanks. I have 2 of them. I think they're awesome. So that's my opinion. That's a good one, Hal. That's a good question. The most drag queen fish. Let's see. Yeah, he uses them, Aaron, because I gave them to him because I thought they were garbage. Let's see. Drag queen fish. Maybe a harlequin tusk is a good one. Maybe like a blue-faced angel. Yeah, for me, Lucas, what I do is I actually have backup wet sides, and I just clean. The I swap them about every 2 weeks. In terms of the little stick inside, or what you're talking about, yeah, I have 2 separate ones, so I clean them all the time. Long fin clowns, that's a good one. Yeah, I think that's an honest answer, Lucas. Swapping them about probably every 2 years is probably your best for the wet side if you don't. But again, I'm cleaning them every 2 weeks because I'm putting a new one in, and that seems to be working really well for me. Speaking of which, you were on that stream with Neptune the other day with me, and I gave him I think I gave him 10 or 20 bucks, I don't remember, and they didn't even answer my question. Yep, Reef Keeper, absolutely. Having backup wet sides is a really good idea. Desert Reef, don't hate because I'm fabulous. Yeah, okay, buddy. Yeah, every 2 weeks, that's what I do. I mean, it takes 5 minutes. It's not a big deal. Oh, there goes the dumb camera again. Hold on. I do citric acid, Brian. I think a lot of people do that. Just dump them in citric acid overnight, and they're super clean. For those that don't know, on the MP40s, obviously you have the first piece, which is the cage. Twist that off. And then, for those that don't know, there's these 3 little clips are on the side. So look around, you can get a little tiny screwdriver, pop those clips up, and then you can get the magnet out, and you can get the whole piece out. You want to have all of the parts as separate as possible so you can clean them really nice. So disassemble it as much as you can, and you'll be perfect. I mean, I've cleaned those things, and those things last. I've had my MP40s on my 300 for 5 years, and they've lasted. Hell, I dump a ton of citric acid, but you're generally supposed to put about a half a cup to 3/4 of a cup to each gallon. No, I don't reuse citric acid. It's really cheap. Get it from Bulk Reef Supply. You can get a 4-gallon case for $10. Yeah, don't use vinegar. It's not as good at cleaning as people might think. In my experience, vinegar seems to stay put, and unfortunately, I've put that back in my tank, and it has caused pH issues. And again, that's from me years and years ago using vinegar. That's just been my personal opinion on it. I just don't use it anymore because I'm afraid that I'll get it in the tank. Amazon bulk, yeah, there you go. It's really cheap. Acid into water and then water into acid. Yeah, that's really bad. So where's the drag queen tank? I'm still waiting for it. Are you give me the drag queen tank? Yeah, that's a good point, John. Rubber. If you put rubber in vinegar, that's a big no-no. What's up, Bobcats Reef? Late to the party, but that's okay. It's good to see someone new. So yeah, we finished up that series. I really enjoyed it. Hopefully you guys got a really good look at GHL if you haven't ever seen it, and hopefully you got a really good look at Apex if you hadn't really seen it. Opened my eyes to a lot of stuff. I actually learned a lot about Apex doing it, surprisingly, that I didn't even know about. I learned a lot about GHL, and I have the GHL, and I'm going to be doing some tutorials on it. I can be quite blunt with you now. I'm not looking forward to it, but I think it's good for the channel, and I think it's good for people that have GHL, that I can kind of teach them some basics, because there isn't a lot of videos out there. Love your channel and videos. Thank you so much, Bobcats. I appreciate all the support. I really do. You guys have no idea how amazed I am that we started this out in February, and it's just exponentially growing into something huge, and I'm so happy, really, I am. Yeah, I mean, if you have a small tank Bobcat, I don't see the point of putting an Apex on it. I mean, I have an Apex on my little 7-gallon Nano here, but you got to realize that it's an extension of my main system. So I just bought a PM2 and I bought a little outlet here just so I have it. Panda the Sim, no Doug. So you guys have any further questions on the GHL after watching it? Anything that you saw that you were concerned or confused on? Anything about the Apex that you might have seen you were confused on? I'd like to answer some questions for sure. I've been dealing with some GHL fanboys all pissed off at me, but had I said that the Neptune wasn't as good as the GHL, I would have had Apex guys after me. You can't win no matter what. Oh God, what did he send me? Oh jeez. Oh my goodness. I'm not putting this on the stream. Alright guys, let's see. Any other questions before we move on? Because we're at about an hour, so I try to get these about an hour, a little bit under an hour if I can. Next week I am trying to get a really great guest. Then the following week I have a really good guest also. So hopefully, I have to get their confirmation, but it should be nice. Nice to have some guests on. Do you have to hook up a roller mat to overflow? Yes. Yes. Ron, I don't think putting a pump in the sump is going to do anything. Just my personal opinion. Where would you connect the GHL? I think you need a prolonged usage for further opinion. No, I'm just going to do tutorials on programming, Philly. The guest last week's. I agree, he sucked. He so sucked. Oh, Lee, I hope that date goes well, man. Anyway. Alright, so let's do this contest. If you have any more questions, go ahead and ask them, but we're gonna run this contest. So today's winner is going to win Hanna Nitrate Checker. It came out about maybe a week or two ago. I have ordered one, and I'm going to order one for the winner. Hopefully they have one, otherwise I'll be giving you mine. But either way, someone's going to win it. And as usual, whoever wins, go ahead and message me on Facebook and let me know who you are, your address, and all that fun stuff, okay? So here we go. The winner today of the Hanna Nitrate Checker. Let's see. Come on, pick winner. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Okay, hold on. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. No, no, no. No, 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 that doesn't count. So the winner of the winner of it is Justin Kerpai. He is the winner. He was the first one selected. I pushed the button and it just went all crazy. So Justin, you are the winner today. Justin, if you're still on, please go ahead and message me that you are here. Justin, you are the winner of today's Hanna Checker, sir. I don't know what happened there. The whole thing just went crazy. So anyway, so Justin, go ahead and message me on Facebook after the stream, and congratulations on the win, sir. Thanks for watching, everybody. look forward to doing some more videos. I might take a week off this week. I don't know. We'll see if I have a pretty busy week. But if you guys have any suggestions for any videos, of course, hit me up on Facebook. I'd obviously love to get some ideas. Really helps me out. So, you guys have a great day. Thanks for watching.